everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon and that you guys are having some good weather. We are having some sunshine today. It's about 30 degrees, which is a lot better than it's been. And I just wanted to get on here and chat with you guys. And I have no idea what this is going to be about, which isn't normal. There's a lot of times I just get on here and I start talking. And sometimes it's a jumbled up mess. Sometimes there's a purpose, but it's kind of like I've shared before. So it's like my brain dumping therapy type of stuff and fun, and just share with other people and kind of just, make connections with others. And today is not a great day for, I guess I would say, my health. I've just been feeling kind of off for a few days, and today's another one of those days where I just kind of been feeling really tired and like weak feeling, and just kind of, I don't know, just not overall not well, dizzy spells and all that stuff. So I'm staying indoors and just kind of having some Bible study time this morning over the phone, and then we watched some videos. I was on a live that Just Missy had, which I will try to remember to link her channel below in the description. It was a fun live chat, and I was able to subscribe to some new people. I don't know if I got all of the people that were in there that have YouTube channels, but I tried to get as many as I could remember that were listed, and it's been really fun to see other people's channels and the things that they share and their stories, and it's amazing. I love to read. I've always loved to read, and love music, of course, but like the reading, this is kind of the same thing. I'm watching these people's stories come to life as they're talking about it, and it's just wonderful, and it's really helpful when you have chronic illness and you are kind of stuck at home a lot and just not able to be out working and all that kind of stuff, and which is a whole other subject that I think I want to get into one of these days, because of a video that I saw today that really got me thinking about some of the things that we choose in life. So today I just kind of wanted to just see how y'all were doing, and maybe share some fun things. It's just some things that I've been going through in all my books, and I've been cleaning out some things, and I found a few books that I don't think I've shared them before. Let's see if I can get to them, because I just piled them all up just a minute ago over here because I had to let my dog in. So let me see what I've got here. Yeah, I'll get there eventually, I'm telling you. It's just so much stuff, and there went my charger. Okay, well, first off, these are from, a couple of these are from last week when I had the injections in my knees. I went to Savers and I found a Bible for $1.99. Thing is very heavy. It's a Life Application Bible, New International Version. I don't have very many of. I have one other one, which is this one here that I won from Letty's channel, Cling to Christ. And it's a large print, but it's a smaller Bible, and it's not as heavy. This one is like board. It's this one's bonded leather, large print, and so this is what it looks like inside, and it's brand new, and there's like no markings. It has these pages in the beginning, which this is what sold me, because I don't think I have any Bibles that have this in there. At least not that I might, but I don't think so. And they're kind of just, I love the one that my parents have, this one of those old white big Bibles. It has like the painting of Jesus on the front, and it has all this stuff in here. So I'm excited to fill this out, and it has a reading plan in here. It has maps, a dictionary, concordance, and also like just a bunch of different things. Like here it has like at the beginning of the chapter or the book in Galatians is when I open to here, and it just gives you like these facts here about the book. So I think that's really interesting. So this will be a good study Bible. I can get that down there. So that was $1.99. So it was hard to like walk away from it. And I almost left it there. I put it back on the shelf and I was like, no, no, no. And I thought, okay, well, why don't you just take it with you? And because I do this, I'll put stuff in the cart and then I'll take another walk around and put stuff back. Because sometimes I just like, nah, I don't really need it. But this one I brought home. And then that same day, I think the same day, I'm not sure, I got this one for $1.99. How to be mindful. And it just gives you tips on how to be mindful about the things that we do, how to reduce stress and all that kind of stuff. So like there's just different things. I don't know. I haven't looked through it exactly. I liked some of what I saw that day. I just kind of flipped through the pages, but I haven't really read through it. But it looks like something interesting. So I will go through that and probably share some of that as I go through it on the channel. And then I found this, Salvaging My Identity. Now I just looked at this again, and it's by Rachel Lovingood and Jennifer Mills, but it's a 40-day experience for girls and young women. So midlife, I mean, I think it's still a great book. I think it's got some really good stuff in here, but a lot of the questions are geared towards younger generation. And so what I might do with this, it was only $1.99. They had 5 of these at the thrift store. So I think what I'm going to do is either pass it along to someone I think would enjoy this, or put it in the free library that we have up the road. There's another option that I may do as well, is take this to my therapist office, because I got these there. And people will leave books, they'll leave different things to give away, jewelry, all kinds of things, so people can just exchange things. So these ones are Toxic Relief, about restoring your health, and Hormone Balance Made Simple. I have not looked through these much, but this one is probably one that I'm going to go through pretty quickly. This one, it does actually have some interesting stuff in here. What's your body trying to tell you? It gives you powerful detox proteins. Beverages are important too. It talks about like drinking plenty of filtered water with fresh squeezed lemon or lime, fresh vegetables. I really can't talk. I think I'm really tired. Fruit juices, drink green tea and other herbal teas. It just kind of gives you a bunch of different things that you can do. Talks about juicing. Okay, so those are the ones I have there, and I hope those don't fall over. I don't know. Oh, and then there was this one. This is also from Savers. This one was $3.99. It is brand new. I mean, it doesn't even look like it was, I don't know if it was ever opened, bought, and just left there. I don't know. But it's called Cleaning Your Mental Mess. 5 Simple Scientific Proven Steps to Reduce Anxiety, Stress, and Toxic Thinking by Dr. Caroline Leaf. So it seems like it has a lot of looks like it has a lot of really interesting information. It gives you like what is the mind, and then there's like photos in here. So and I think there is some like colored ones. Let's see. I thought yeah. This is going to be a very interesting read as well. So those are, I just kind of wanted to share a little book haul. I took some books the other day. I think I shared this in either the video that already came up or one that will be coming up soon. I took some books down to the free library, and as I was looking through the books I found some that I'd gotten at the Goodwill, I don't know, last year sometime. I don't know. They were some Winnie the Pooh books. The Winnie the Pooh, and then the other 2 are by the author of Winnie the Pooh. I don't know if they're along with the story too, but there's some older books, and I got those, and I have yet to read them. Excuse me. Hiccups, burps, all the fun stuff when I get really anxious, and because of the medication I take, I get a lot of this issues with my GI tract. So one other thing that I was looking at, because I talked about, I think I've talked about this, wanting to write a book, or I had a blog, I had all this stuff going on, and it's something that I really want to do. And since I've been going through the Artist's Way, which there's some tasks here that I really want to get through, so I'm going to try to do a few of those today. And one of them was, let's see, there's one here that says time travel. Select and write out one happy piece of encouragement. Write a thank you letter, mail it to yourself or to the long lost mentor. Then there's one that says imaginary lives. If you had 5 other lives to lead, what would you do in each of them? I would be a pilot, a cowhand, a physicist, a psychic, a monk. You might be a scuba diver, a cop, a writer of children's books, a football player, a ballet dancer, a painter, a performance artist, a history teacher, a healer, a coach, a scientist, a doctor, a Peace Corps worker, a psychologist, a fisherman, a minister, an auto mechanic, a carpenter, a sculptor, a lawyer, a painter, a computer hacker, a soap opera star, a country singer, a rock and roll drummer. Whatever occurs to you, jot it down and do not overthink this exercise. The point of these lives is to have fun in them, more fun than you might be having in this one. Look over your list and select one. Then do it this week. For instance, if you put down country singer, hold on. Well, if you put down country singer, can you pick a guitar? If you dream of being a cowhand, what about some horseback riding? So it's kind of like the idea is to pick one of these, right? So, of course, looking at the list, one of the ones that I really like would probably be a writer, maybe of children's books or just a writer. And the funny thing is I have this. I didn't date this, but this was back in like 2012 or something like that I wrote this story called The Adventures. It's The Adventures of Pepito and Hannah at El Jardín Magnificante, the Magnificent Garden. And of course, I said that funny, but I wrote. It's a few pages long. I don't know how long. Maybe like 11 pages long or so, and I printed it out with like quite a bit of space in between so that I could do some, like, look it over and edit it. But it all started with a bell pepper plant I had. It was the first time I had taken vacation, like actual like vacation from work, where it wasn't just like a day here or there. My cats are jumping around. And I took like a 4-day or week-long vacation. I stayed home, and I had an old computer, an old desktop computer then. Didn't have any internet, didn't have anything to this at all. I just had the computer. And I decided one day to just start typing. And so the bell pepper plant, there was one little bell pepper about this big. And at the time, I think I have this on Facebook, we were doing this like, it was called Shoot 365. And so like you were supposed to take a photo of something and kind of, there was a description that you had, or you called it something, or I don't know what it was. So anyway, I took a picture of that and I said something like, I named my bell pepper Pepito. So that's how that name came about. And then Hannah was always my favorite name from the Bible, one of my favorites, but one of my favorite stories from the Bible. One day maybe I'll share why. But you guys know the story of Hannah. She was praying to conceive a child. So Hannah, that's where Hannah came from in here, the name. And so I wrote this kind of like a children's story, sort of, So, you know, it's about Hannah, who's a daydreamer, who likes to read, and she was 10 in the story. And then Pepito was her best friend who she had met 3 years prior. And, you know, they'd go on adventures together and all this kind of stuff. And they got a school assignment from the English teacher. And they just had, it was just like a 2-page paper. That's all that they had to write. But the only requirements were that it had to be original and something from their own experience and turned in on October 18th. And she was excited because she liked to write. And it, like, their lives were a lot different. You know, their the lives that they were living were different. Their house, their home life, I guess. And he did not like to write. He did not like to read. And let's see, you know, it's just like how she was trying to encourage him and be there for him and help him and things like that. And they meet I think it was an older lady, yeah, named Mrs. Kinder. And she had a beautiful garden. They somehow got in there when they weren't supposed to. She found them, you know, and all this this things. They when they got found out, she decided to sit with them and talk to them. And so I guess I wrote something about every day after school in Saturdays, she taught, I guess she teaches a class. That's what it was. I don't remember what class I said that she taught, but she taught something. And so they wanted to learn how to farm. They wanted to learn how to grow their own garden and stuff. So she decided to teach them after school and on Saturdays. And so, and she said, and she told them, well, you know, told Hannah, well, you can tell me the desires of your heart as well about what calls your name, kind of. And Hannah's face lit up. She was so excited to have someone who wanted to hear about those things she longed to do. And Pepito tells her, watch it, Mrs. Kinder. She will talk your ear off if you let her. And they all laughed. And, you know, they rode their bikes, and it was later on in the story, I kind of have diary pieces written that Hannah was writing. She would bake with her mom. And I think, let me see. Oh, yes, her story. Miss Kinder starts telling them her story of growing up and bike riding and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it was just, it's interesting. It's just funny because I'm looking at it now and like I've totally forgotten what I'd written. And I talk about cassette tapes because I think Miss Kinder tells her about cassettes that she used to listen to or something. And Pepito, I guess, Hannah writes it in her story. I don't know, but I just read in this part, it just says, Pepito looked at her with wide eyes. Are you serious? You are really making this one fictional. I don't like to read at all. Cassettes? What do you know about cassettes? He asked. Well, have you know, Pepito? I know a lot. My mom and dad still have theirs, and I have a cassette player at home and listen to their oldies, she said with attitude. Oh no, there comes your tartness, he said as he rolled his eyes at her. And that was the last thing I wrote. So, it's projects. Maybe I'll continue writing that. Revamp the story. I don't know. Something. And then I also used to do this. I did teach a ladies' Bible class at one time. And prior to that, around the same time I was writing this, I don't remember what I did this with, what editing. I don't know what I had, but I did like a newsletter called Busy Bees Express, and it was Busy Bees Heart to Heart Ministry that I had, and I had like in this volume. This was in 2012, so that's when this was. This was May of 2012. And then in the Buzzing News, I kind of talked about the class that I was teaching. And then I did like little pieces, like little short things about flowing with love, refreshingly fruity. Talked about like gardens and how we are called to bear fruit, good fruit that takes time, patience, nurturing, and God's perfect timing. We try to rush the process, the fruit won't be worth eating or sharing. We must constantly prune our trees so that the bad fruit won't choke out the good. What bad fruit is growing on your tree? Ask God to reveal it to you and guide you in the best way to prune it so that it doesn't grow back. Take a moment to read Matthew 7:15 through 20. And then I put in there, send in your gardening tips. I worked for a newspaper. I was I was a circulation assistant for a long time. Okay, hold on. For a very long time. That's how I met my husband. He got a job there. And then before I quit that job, I was a circulation manager. So basically, I worked in deliveries, making sure the papers got delivered where they needed to be. So this was fun because I just love the idea of working in a newspaper, and I love to write. And then I even have a little story of me and my husband. I don't know if you can see that photo there of us. That was for a reception. I look back and I'm like, we look like little kids. I was going to be 25 in a few days. Or by the time of reception, we did have a reception late, so we were actually both 25 by then, but I was 24 when we got married, and so was he. We got married a few days before my birthday. So, and this I just kind of wrote about. This was our 9-year anniversary when I wrote this. This is it's really interesting to go back and look at this stuff. And the scripture that my mother-in-law got us. My eyes are burning. I do not know why. When we had a reception, she did the invitations for us. She made the invitations, and she chose this verse for us. Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Ecclesiastes 4:12. And I loved it. I love that idea. It reminds me of having, God as our foundation, God as the one that holds us together, and He is in all of it. And it's just so cool to read this. It's funny. And I did a little part about dancing like David, and talking about music I liked, and the featured song was my all-time favorite. This is still one of my favorites, probably like in the top 5 that I love. It's I Can Only Imagine by MercyMe. Like that song, one of my all-time favorites. And that's it. We were just sharing some funny stuff that I wrote, and it looks like this. That was Daughter of the True King at the bottom. And, just kind of talking about whatever thoughts were on my mind at the time about these things. And so, it was fun to find these things and kind of remind myself about what my desires in my heart were, especially now that I'm trying to go through all this, trying to deal with my emotions, trying to learn to love myself, trying to learn to live out the gifts that God gave me and how I can use that to further His kingdom, to glorify Him, and to shine the light on the love of Yeshua, of Jesus, our Savior, who we cannot do anything apart from that matters. And, I love this, and I think as one of my artist way type of thing, I want to get back into writing. I've been doing some writing, like journal type of things, which I've been reading on some of my videos. So, you know, that's kind of the process I'm in right now. So hopefully if I can really get back to writing this story, it should be fun. I don't know. I don't know how I will do it. I don't know anything about writing books. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. Like the whole process of writing out an actual like outline and everything. I don't know. But you know, today listening to Missy talk about the books that she has written and books that she has in mind to write, I thought, you know what, I really want to do that too. I've been wanting to do that since I was a little kid, and this was the first attempt at that. So maybe I'll get back to that. So what are your desires of your heart? What kinds of things do you love to do? Your hobbies, your whatever it is that you love that you maybe aren't doing right now and you'd like to, or just some things that you hope to learn, and just try to see, you know, where you can go with it and all that stuff. I'd like to hear about all the fun stuff that you guys do, or you know, that you guys would like to do. Share those in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any prayer requests, feel free to leave those in the comments below as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you.